Hey, my TVR people, what's up? I think it's finally time to do a water pump on 280i.
She's been sweating for a while, but now a pulley started making weird noise.
A few years back, I did buy a water pump from 1983 Ford Ranger. So let's see if it will fit and see if we can make it happen.
I began this process by removing air filter. Next, I moved on to the alternator, loosened two bolts in order to release the tension and remove the belt. Remove the hoses attached to the thermostat, preferably draining coolant first. You can hear the noise my pulley is making, so I'm definitely on the right track. Unbolt 50,000 bolts alongside of the water pump. There is one bolt in the middle, and in total there are 3 different sizes of bolts. And remember, you are one broken bolt away from this job becoming a nightmare. Be very careful. Oh man, let the TVR games begin. Once I took out the water pump, I realized that the thermostat portion of the new pump is completely different from the thermostat portion of an old pump. So obviously, pump from 1983 Ford Ranger is a no-go for the TVR. We might gonna have to take out an old bearing from the pump and repack it with the bearing from the new pump. Unless, of course, I find something compatible with a TVR. After some reading on the subject that should have been done beforehand, I picked me up a water pump from 1978 Ford Mustang right off the Evil Bay. I also got me a thermostat back housing with a gasket off the Jungle website. And from a local parts store, I got me a thermostat associated with Ford Mustang as well. Keep in mind, there are different temperature ratings available. This one opens at 90 degrees. Now, while there is no rush, I'm waiting for the parts. I carefully plugged all the holes in the engine and started cleaning all the surfaces. And while doing that, I realized that I have no clue if the pulley on the new part is compatible with the old one. But I guess we'll find out. Another thought, or rather observation, crossed my mind. I did not find any gasket materials on those parts. I think it was all either silicone or RTV. Almost the same time I was done cleaning, parts showed up. So I took them out just to test fit, make sure everything is compatible, bolt patterns are matching, and nothing rubs. Because the back pulley design was a little different from the original one. However, it checked out fine and it set on the motor perfectly. Another question that I had was the belt tensioner pulley, and that checked out as well. So it was time to reinstall. I usually apply a thin layer of gasket sealer on all metal surfaces surrounding the gasket. It hides all the imperfections on the metal, creating a better seal and makes it easier to install. Just stick on the gasket and bolt on the part without worrying that the gasket will be out of place. Evenly tighten all the bolts in a crisscross pattern. Don't forget the gasket for the thermostat and the back housing, and periodically check the pulley, make sure nothing is rubbing and everything spinning freely. Reattach your belt tensioner pulley, put on the belt, secure and tighten the alternator. Rest of the process should be logical and self-explanatory. Fill up with antifreeze, get the air out of the system, start the car, make sure it doesn't overheat, make sure thermostat opens up, make sure the fans kick in, add fluid as necessary, make sure it doesn't overheat again, and then take the car for a ride.
In order to wrap up this project, I drove the car for about 20 miles to see my friend Charlie at Mobile Alpha Detailing and shop dog Luca, and also test out the car. Performed very well, did not overheat, held steady temperature, no leaks. Nice. And on this note, see you next time. Thank you for watching.